We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.
Oh no.
You.
Bring the volume up. Okay.
It's off.
I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yeah. This like.
All right, so this is a Lagos Talks special on Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. My guest is the area father himself, Charly Boy. Baba, welcome.
Nothing up. Oh. I just the rest before I come back to hellfire.
So it's been a while. You know, our last conversation was, I think, about 2 years ago, and a lot of things have happened within that space. All right. So, and the first question that I even got from our listeners who saw the promo for this interview was, okay, what has been happening with you over the past like 2 years?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people out there know more than I do what's been happening. We've been dealing with a very toxic situation in the country that is depressing everybody. And hence, I'm the president of all frustrated Nigerians. Yeah, but on a personal note, I've decided to dive into my art, my craft, not pretending like my environment has changed, but something to guard my mental well-being. Because I believe that a lot of people in Nigeria, we are all mad because there's no how we can be sane with the kind of toxic environment that breeds so much negativity. I mean, nothing. When you talk about young people and the youth, there is nothing in that environment that encourages or grows the future leaders of tomorrow, which are the young people. The environment has become...
In that wise, if we are in this particular situation, which is clear to everybody, do you have any hope in the young generation, the Generation Z as they are called?
Hope is all what I have and all what we should have. It's because of hope that I'm alive. If I no get hope, then I might as well go and die. But I still believe that the future and the salvation of the contraption that is called Nigeria still lies in the hands of its exceptional youth. Whether those exceptional youths today for Ajegunle, or whether they did London, or whether they did Europe, they are Nigerians, and they're Nigerian young people who are exceptional and outstanding. And it's my duty as an area father, wherever they did. Yes, I claim say I come London to come rest. But am I really resting? No, I'm not. Because I will soon go back to the hellfire where I come from. And if they bother me with the situation on ground, what becomes of us? People are talking about getting ready for the 2023 election.
Yes.
We know whether we go survive. We know whether we go survive next month. They are talking about 2023 election. So,
you know, at some point you decided to spearhead a move, which was tagged Mumu Don't Do. Has that stopped, or you are taking, or you just took a break?
Our Mumu never do. For most of us, our Mumu na factory fitted. For most of us, our Mumu na follow come. I've been in this battle, social re-engineering, for the past 45 years. I don't want to keep fighting till I die, my brother. I fought for my independence, to be my own person. When my parents refused to support me in my chosen career, I fought Nigerians that the fact that somebody is wearing earring does not make them irresponsible. Because Unamumu, you don't take. Them born some of us, born us with Mumu mentality. So we are all guilty, including me, including you. Everybody, they're guilty for what is happening in Nigeria. It's not just Buhari's fault. And do you know why I say that?
Why?
Because if my teeth is better than your teeth, and your teeth is better than my teeth, not only the time when our friend, our relatives, they for government, now would they do, hey, now they no pass. And we have not resolved that there are consequences for stealing. Whether na your son, whether na your papa steal, he must suffer those consequences. We are not united in agreement. So as long as it is your thief, is a good thief for you. Now let me share one incident with you. When I first came back from America, this was, I think, in 79, thereabout. I decreased that time, meaning, I just couldn't take any bullshit from anybody. So I just did, for that time, I don't even get anything. I don't get money. I don't get nothing. I just came back, a fresh graduate from America. So I take my mama car. I won't go buy something. Come off for road for one junction. Police people, like say for America, when you see and keep police person, even if you do anything, but you get guilty conscience, you got to behave yourself. Now I can't see one police. This is now 79. We just either whether na canvas we are no waiting we are on a sale pass. If they won't obtain from me, instead they go talk to me like a gentleman. So make I follow and talk like a gentleman. He won't obtain from me. Like say, I came down, I beat the shit out of this person. Yes, I'm not saying that what I did is right. I'm not painting that picture, but I'm telling you the consequences of that thing what I do. After I beat him, finish, I threw him inside boot. You get a time where my head they boil. I no want to see any kind of injustice or anybody where won't cheat anybody. Okay? I ride around over the town or ride and finish. I can't go drop her for where I pick them up from. Do you know that the next day, my own father will take him prick bomb me, got me arrested, and put me in the cell. I spent 2 weeks. I'm sure if it wasn't for my mother's begging, I don't collect more days for cell. This is what I call integrity. Whether not your son, whether not your relative, if you do nonsense, do anyhow, you see anyhow. And that is why till tomorrow, I'll always have, at that time, okay, I was upset with him, but foolish me, silly me, I did the wrong thing. How can you be beating a law enforcement officer? Regardless, what thing he do? But see the Nigeria, see the kind of officers we will get today. See the kind of army we will get today. Terrorists and the real soldier, we don't know again. Police people and bandits, we don't know again. What do we know? Insecurity, we're always doing like this, looking over our shoulder. We don't know again. Who go die tomorrow or who go live tomorrow? We don't know again. Nobody can make any plan in this toxic environment. So what kind of life are we living?
Okay, Father. So moving on from our Mumu Don't Do, which is a movement trying to find solutions to all these social problems and economic problems by galvanizing the people to speak up and change the status quo. If you had the opportunity, would you get into active politics to activate this same thing you are doing with our Mumu Don't Do movement?
To take the waiting. Am I not already in the politics of a new mindset? My social engineering for the past 45 years, what do you think it's about? It's about the politics of change. And I'm already the president of all frustrated Nigerians. Reason I want to take on a political position do with thieves and robbers that has occupy the political space. Actually, they look me so I feel kill anybody. Can I kill people? Can I talk one thing in the morning and talk another thing in the afternoon and in the night talk a different thing? Because that's what Nigerian politics is all about. And I don't rule in those kind of ways. So most politicians you see, they have no pedigree, and they are not even supposed to be there. But because we have Mumu people like you and me who are living in that country, and I don't know when they're going to wake up. That is why you have people like Buhari in a leadership position. Person will not get, so why did I go to school? Why did I go to school? Is somebody who can't find his YX certificate becomes my president. And then somebody who is a professor becomes his assistant to somebody who don't have a certificate. What kind of show?
All right. Okay, still on our Mumu Don't Do movement. Is there a particular structure that is in place?
Your Mumu don't do. You will ask me a question. Your Mumu don't do. Your own Mumu, is it enough? No, answer me now. I ask you a question. You ask me. I ask you. I'm a journalist.
Nami they interview you, area father.
I can't go. So you mean I can't interview you?
We'll arrange that one after this one. Is there a structure? Because you see, one of the things I've come to understand is for such movement, for that kind of thing you're doing, the question that comes to people's minds is always, okay, even if I'm interested, how do I become part
of it? What Mumu don't do is nothing but a campaign. It's not a movement. If you have read up on it properly, you know, for asking me like that, it's not a movement. Yeah, it's a campaign to sensitize young, able-bodied Nigerian that our docility is enough. And that campaign started before the last election, hoping that young people will finally get the message and do the right thing and come out in their large numbers to vote. Because if, like, take for instance, the Eastern part that somebody was telling them, there's no election, there's no election. We were the one that lost. Because if the person had encouraged young Igbo people to go out and mass get their PVC, see, politicians can only rig when they see an opportunity. But when the polls is so overwhelming, they had them to rig. Okay? The youth, with all the sensitization, the youth didn't come out because they don't believe in Nigeria anymore. And then that explains part of the reason we have the kind of leadership we have now. Because It's not really leadership by election, it's by selection. Yeah. So after that, we now went back to the drawing board because, like I said, apparently most people, their mumu never do, because they fail to understand who has the biggest power. And it's the office of the citizen that has the biggest power. So we now converted it to another sensitization. Now we be government. Because for people to understand that unless they look at their governors, their ministers, their president as servants, not masters, once they have that mindset, then maybe the change of mindset will help what we're talking about. Oh boy, I don't try you. I did try many things, but hey, I can only keep trying. I can only keep trying, hoping that one day, like then they talk, many days for the thief, one day for the owner. That one day will happen in my lifetime.
All right. So people have also said that we need an alternative to the current crop of politicians. And we saw what happened in the 2019 elections. A particular group came up, young, vibrant politicians, and then at some point they could not reach a consensus. So how do we now achieve this dream of finding an alternative to the old class or old brigade?
My dear, I don't have all the answers, but I will make my little contributions as much till I die. And that is why 2 years ago, before COVID, I embarked on a world tour. I was only able to do 4 countries for obvious logistic reasons, yeah. And those countries where I visited, I went to Auckland, I went to Germany, I went to Italy, and I was in Sweden. Those 4 countries where I visited, I concentrated on where Nigerian community day. Why? Because I went to take that message that, see, the people where they home, they are all burnt out with fatigue, insecurity, and hopelessness. That Charly Boy, now where they look, we don't see better thing. We don't stay for place that they can see the difference, that an organized and developed society has so much to offer than this animalistic thing that we're doing in Nigeria. I say, can you imagine if everywhere Nigeria people gather wedding food, and you guys can go to the government of the day, put pressure on them to come and say, come and save us in Nigeria. The genocide is no be here again. At least with the kind of force that will move in this movement, maybe will induce some kind of thing. Maybe if the selfless government in the contraption called Nigeria, if they are feeling heat from foreign governments, maybe, I say, they will have a change of mind. Because, my brother, the people we're dealing with, they are not normal human beings. They are demonic. They are evil people. They take pride in killing. Nigeria has become a killing field, and it's so unfortunate. That is why most of the time I try to stay away, because I can't imagine staying in a country that does nothing for me. Me, a whole me, Charly Boy, that I'm in a country that can't even protect me, that I don't feel safe. I don't know what kind of country that is. And even me, small me, fit the complaint. What talk less of the people in the street that don't know eating, just common, just chop gari, eating in Nigeria has become luxury. What kind of a bastard country is that? What? My brother, I beg. I did think about how I would come back to hell. I beg, talk about something more cheery. I know we have to face our problem and we have to face it squarely. Okay. But then again, I'm battle fatigued. I've been fighting for the past 45 years. And I think now young people supposed to carry that battle they go. At least they cannot tell me that for this 45 years, that there's not one thing, not two, one thing that they can pick from a Charly Boy to say, this is what I hold on to. And I'll take the mantle from here on.
Let's quickly talk about the issue of insecurity, which you mentioned earlier. I'd like to have your take on why does it seem as if it's an uphill task, like almost impossible for us to quell insurgency, but instead it keeps growing bigger. There are other groups now. There's the issue of banditry. There's which ones we call terrorists. There are agitations for secession. Everything borders on insecurity, and it continually appears as if the government does not have an answer to this.
That's the way the demons operate. That's what they really want to do. Need I say more? Nothing can happen without the demons saying so. So this is part of the agenda. And the sooner we can wake up and fight back, because the enemy we're talking about is already in the compound. It's already in the compound. Your leadership is your enemy, in case you don't know. A whole Nigerian army, if they tell me, say terrorists go invade that place, the security was breached. What the fuck are you talking about? NDA? Then tomorrow, the IG of police go come tell me as terrorists come invade police headquarters. Say all the money where they not save, they don't carry them. I don't understand.
Okay, so let's talk about strategies now. You are well versed.
I beg, I'm tired of talking about this. Can we talk about something more cheery?
Yes. So
because we don't talk since 45 years. I don't shout 45 years. Yes. Nothing has come out of it.
But please, you yourself have said that you're not going to back down.
No, I'm not backing down. But for now, okay, I want to pretend that I don't have a problem. At least allow me to play pretend. Allow me to have one day in a month where I can leave all my problems behind and talk about the things that lift the spirit. I'm entitled to that. And I insist no more talk about Nigeria for now. So if you don't have any other thing to ask me, I beg to close this interview, make I go rest, make I go sleep. Okay? Make I think about the promo of my musical video, Odudu Bariba. That's what's up here in my mind.
Okay, so but at least you know I'm not part of the demons, right?
Of course not. You can't even be a demon now. See how you did. You look like a pussycat. Yeah. The demons are those ones in power. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Those are the demons. Because they don't mean well for anybody, you or me, or the common man on the street. And that's why I choose to use the word demons. They're barbarians, people from the medieval age that believe that might is power. People whose stock and trade is to kill and maim. Those are the demons. Those are the evil people I'm talking about. You know, past that one. So please, let's talk about something more cheery.
Okay, so you know, before I started this interview, I was going to ask you. You are involved in the second part of the blockbuster King of Boys, and then there's this video Odu Bariba. Did I pronounce that correctly? Odu Bariba. Odudu Bariba. So what's the relationship between that video and the movie?
In the movie King of Boys 2, I, Charles Chukwuemeka Oputa, I played the role of Odudu Bariba. Then I, Chukwuemeka Oputa, as Charly Boy, I did a song called Odudu Bariba. So that is the connection. And what does Odudu Bariba mean? No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It's just something I did separately. And what does Odudu Bariba mean? Odudu Bariba simply means a spiritual warrior. Yeah? But that sound, Odudu Bariba, is the name of a butterfly in my dialect, in my Uguta dialect. Odudu Bariba simply means a butterfly. Why this butterfly is so special? Because this butterfly, you know, butterflies, they have the feeling of fragility. They are very fragile, you know. So, but this particular butterfly, as powerful as it is, of half your palm, swallowed what swallowed an elephant. But it is the symbol of my deep spiritual state. And that is why I am the Odudu Bariba of Africa. And Odudu Bariba is a word you can chant. You can try it, check what I'm saying. It's a word you can chant when you are at a crossroad, when you are in a jam, when you are troubled about taking a certain decision. Chant that word 7 times and see what happens. Don't take my word for it. Just go and write it.
That's very interesting.
But you must have something that is bothering you, a decision you must make. Chant that word. And if you're a Christian, pray your normal prayer and then see what happens.
Okay, area for that. I'm going to have to take you back a little bit because your audio went off just when you were about explaining the Odudu Bariba word, the meaning, and then you started talking about the butterfly. So could you please take us back on that? It's very important that we understand that part.
I said the word Odudu Bariba is the native name in my dialect, Uguta. I come from a village called Uguta in Imo State. So Ududubariba in Uguta means a butterfly. And I am saying that this is a very special butterfly and a symbol to my deep spiritual essence. I've chosen a butterfly as my guide. Now, when we see a butterfly, the first thing that comes to mind is its fragility. The butterfly is fragile. But like I explained also, this is a special kind of butterfly that swallowed what swallowed? An elephant. So the butterfly no be here. If something can swallow the thing, we swallow elephant. You know, say no be here. And I concluded by saying that because that word is very strong, as the Ududubariba one of Africa, I will urge any of my fans, my followers, the lovers of Charly Boy, when you find yourself at a crossroad of life, when you have to make a certain decision that will determine what your future is, do your normal prayer, do whatever you can do, but chant that word 7 times, precisely 7 times, and then you can see what happens. Don't take my word, just try it.
Oh, okay, very interesting. I might be tempted to do that because just like every other Nigerian, I have problems. And this might just be the solution if I'm going to take your word for what you just said. So still on your music, what's the next project you're working on? Are we looking at an album?
The one where I don't work on, you don't buy them. You don't see them. When I go to work, like, am I working?
They send them to me now. I don't get them already.
Okay. On the 20th, I am releasing my musical video. I don't call it, I call it the musical film. You don't pass video, be that too. I know all what was poured into that work. No be moi, because it's either I go big or I go home. And I never forget, even though I don't prance around, carry my shoulder like I'm anything. But I never forget that I'm the Godfather. All what is happening in the now is because there were some people, not just me, there were some people that stood tall to say, Nigerian artists must be respected. Nigerian artists must prosper. They must be paid well according to their arts. I said 21 years ago as a PMAN president that Nigerian music will overtake the world. It will be something globally. It will no longer be refrained and restricted to Lagos. People think, say, I just make mouth. But then I was telling them that for every Michael Jackson, I can give them like 200 on my street in Bagada. So our problem is not talent, because we get over talent the warriors. Our problem was management. And for people, especially corporate Nigerians, to see that this is another gold mine, better than oil. But because our people, they can't think that far. You know, so I've decided for me, you know, when I tell people that I'm really not a musician, they will say, but you don't sing this. I say, yes, so I'm somebody who can I can copy things, photo, Xerox it, and that's why I was able to play Odudubariba role like that. Yeah. So when, as I don't match, we no go gree, we no go gree. Me and young people, me and sometimes I don't know those people because we no come from the same pedigree, heritage, or background. Okay, you start with people. See, for the past 45 years, it has always been betrayal. Even Okada people where I fight for, carry their, now they betray me. Military soldiers where I fight for, they betray me. There is no fight, no cause that I've taken that have not been betrayed. Even musicians who have been a fight for as Spearman president, they betrayed me. But that comes with the territory. If you want to stick out like a sore thumb and say, no, what is fair is fair. My father used to always say, when you see injustice, make sure you're fighting it too. Because if you don't, it will come back to chop your head off. And nothing is ever going to chop my head off. Instead, I go kill that motherfucker. You know? So that's how I decided, okay, the thing where they make me angry, where they make me happy, now music, maybe I should just go back to it and leave the street protest to young people who get the strength. Because yes, Charly Boy may look boyish and all of that, but I know I ain't no spring chicken. Maybe when we see car where they don't auto base finish, we they ask whether the engine they work. Sometimes the engine know they work.
Yes. So, as one of the people who have fought for the welfare and the well-being of Nigerian artists, you notice that in the past years, there was this confrontation, this conflict between MCSN and Cosanova, royalty paid to musicians and all of that. We saw how all of that played out. What was your position all the time that this was going on?
You know, our mentality has affected across board everything. We are not people with deep thoughts, futuristic people. We're not. Otherwise, MCSN and COSON would have closed ranks. But because he gets somebody, a group of people, we won't chop alone and die alone. They will chop alone and they will die alone. So everything becomes politicized. It's not usual that you find people who are living for the general good of others. And that has to say a lot with where you're coming from. If you're a child born out of love and warmth, and you were not struggling with your siblings for a plate of gari, that you were born in the midst of maybe not plenty, but enough to go round. And you are coming from a good place with a rich heritage and a knock on wood pedigree. You're not going to be like some of these useless people I see who are always greedy because they didn't have it like that growing up. So they see it as an opportunity to collect all the money. Even the people for leadership, stealing money that 10 generations cannot finish. Is that not something wrong with them? And with all these examples set by this corrupt leadership, maybe today we begin get corrupt leadership. How does that translate to young people? What do you think that is the mindset that they're creating for young people? My father cannot come and be telling me about womanizing and drinking when he's a drunk, a womanizer, and an irresponsible. He cannot give me lessons on morality. And children copy what they see. There you go. So that is why COSUN and MCSN, I'm not going to say this person's at fault or that person's at fault, but that is the back end politics that is going on. There's some unscrupulous elements in this music business. They no mind chop all the royalty of all the artists, only them, only one person.
Okay, all right. So for those listeners who are just joining us, I've been engaging Charly Boy on this Lagos Talk special, and we've been talking about various issues starting from Nigeria, all the problems, and we're talking about music, his project, Odudubariba. And if you heard what he said, you can utilize that and do something positive with just one word, Odudubariba. All right, so we...
Seven times.
Seven times, you said. All right. Now, you said that Nigerian music has moved like you predicted years ago, and it has taken the whole world by storm. But now, there's also been this question of the quality of music we are pushing out. Are you concerned about the aspect of songwriting and content, apart from delivery?
Why should I be concerned about that? Why?
When majority of our hit songs dwell on women, drugs, alcohol.
Why are they hit songs that dwell on women, drugs, alcohol? You don't have an answer?
I don't.
If there's no demand, there won't be no supply. Now, because people like una like those things, now make una they buy them, then una go come out, una go they yap them. It is called show business. So you're either in it for the money or the money and okay, impact some information, some wisdom. Okay. So it's yours to choose. And then you that is concentrating and talking about so women breast, so women breast. You know they look women breast. Because if you know they look women breast, you know go think go there because there are other artists too. They may not be as popular, but there are other artists singing conscious music. Okay, but that one no they too sell now, like we then talk about breast and nyash and all those kind of stuff. And because of people like you, where they for street, where they enjoy those kind of music, that is why they are singing it in abundance for you people, because it is called show business. Where is the business? The business is in the numbers. What are the numbers behind this Nash and breast lyrics? The numbers are large.
Father, why did they point to me, say people like me? How you take no say me I they do those things now?
It be like you get as your eye they do. It be like, well, when I say you, I mean young people generally. You understand? It may not just be you, but you know like woman.
Okay.
You see, don't laugh.
Your prediction, your projection for the Nigerian music industry has come to pass, no doubt about that. And recently,
no, we never finished, though.
Yeah.
Do you see what is happening in London now? Now let me tell you. You know, some years back, now Jamo music, reggae, that is what dominated London. Can you imagine, say, I enter one big shop like this for big people, make I just go local, not that I can afford one I can afford a broom self in that shop. And I still they hear Nigerian music. Isn't that something that should gladden any soul? The taxi where I enter, the Uber where I enter, Nigerian music. Anywhere I go for this one, Nigerian music. So where it is just starting, wallahi, it is just starting. Okay? Whiskey do something. O2 Club or what did they call it?
Yeah.
Sold out. Sold out.
And
What are we talking about? Burna Boy doing sold out. Where do you think all these things is going? They're going to a good place. As I forecasted, we never start. It's the beginning. I just say, I wish a day as young as I used to be that I forgot.
You forecast out this period, though. But are you not concerned that the institutions, government, private sector are not really seeing the potential in the music industry?
You get government. You get government. You don't get government now. So which kind of question they ask me? When they no fit realize since that time, even before Buhari come, say music is just as good as crude oil. But everybody gravitates to the line of least resistance, the one where they cheap, where they easily available. They no fit think, they no fit create. What in Nigeria they produce? Toothpick, can we even produce toothpick? Is everything not imported? So how do we move forward as a country? I beg. And then yet, some people go, they sit down, no, Jesus is coming, Jesus is not coming anywhere. Jesus is not coming tomorrow, that I know. He may not even come next week. So how are you going to protect and save yourself? You're waiting on Jesus. And what does the Bible tell us about prayer without work?
It's empty.
Every time they go to sit down, then they wait for one miracle or the other. Is that how? So they want to make me feel all this suffer because I was born a priest. I'm a royalty. But I decided that I will leave my crown or my whatever, my castle, to wander and go in the bush to see how animals also live. I reached that bush and no come back again. But I became a champion in the bush. Imagine. How many people can do that? How many?
All right. Before
can anybody now come and tell me about poverty? Because I've been poor. I've been broke and broken. Nobody can tell me about poverty because I've experienced it. I can't talk about things that I don't see, I have not experienced. So I know what it is to be poor. And it's
a lot of people would not believe that part.
I don't fucking care who believes whatever they believe. Do I live for people, what they say, what they don't say, what they see? Maybe they say I be gay. Now that one going to worry me. When I know that I know be gay. Then say I be cultist. Now that one's supposed to worry me. When I know that I'm not a cultist. So whether they believe me, as you see me today, I know they drink alcohol now. How many people could believe? But I did smoke Igbo. Hey, I smoke Igbo pass fell out. But I know they advertise my own. But I just make you know, say, I'm an Igbo smoker. I've been smoking since I was 16. Nothing they happen. Now even they make me fresh. So I know that you're of age. I'm not advocating Igbo before I go begin talk, say, I'm advocating Igbo, make young people know. I'm not talking like that. I just talk about myself. And because I know you too, you're of age, go find Igbo smoke, make your head reset. Did they hear me, sir?
Okay. Before we wrap it up, Father, this last one, spoken about, we've hinted at people talking about Jesus is coming, or focusing on practical methods of survival. what do you feel about religious leaders and their ostentatious lifestyles, riding private jets and all of that?
Now you make I go sing God of Men. When pastors have, some pastors, not all of, but majority of them, have turned themselves into a mini God and have brainwashed their congregation to believe that they have the God's code number, that God is talking to them. Look at Mumu people. God, they talk to you because you're busy scamming people. They say religion is the opium of the masses. The masses are frustrated. They have to hang their hopes somewhere. And it's better that they hang it on God. Because if you take away religion, people will be butchering people. You understand? So in that regard, I say, okay, it's permissible. But when I see most of the broken homes by your famous pastors and the kind of things they're involved with, it be me like say, make I take gun, shoot everybody, kill them all. Because these are scammers. These are people who are supposed to be like a moral compass. See how they smell, yeah, they smell. Like cops we don't rot. See how demonic, they are part of the demons I'm talking about. Yes, they are.
Area Father, thank you so much for your time. And I hope that at some point very soon, again, we'll continue this conversation where there are new positive developments.
I beg go, make we talk positive. Negative don't too much. I know if you develop the picture.
All right. Thank you very much, Charly Boy, Area Father. Bless you.
Thank you.
This is where we call it a day on this edition of Lagos Talk Special. We'll be back next time with another interesting edition. Do have a great weekend.